What's up, my dudes? It's Ansu, and today I'm here to talk about my July TBR. We're halfway done with the year, and I'm terrified, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm definitely hoping to read a ton of different books, so let's talk about a few of them. If you didn't know, the Reading Rush is going to happen the 20th to the 26th, so there are a few reading challenges associated with the Reading Rush, which I want to take part in. Yeah, so we'll talk about my Reading Rush TBR first, and then a general TBR, which I might just read separately. I might even mix and match, but you know what? It's fine. We're still going to talk about all the books. Welcome to my house, where you hear ridiculous noises from. The first challenge is to read a book with a cover that matches your birthstone. So I was born on September 1st, so my birthstone is sapphire, so it's a blue shade. And I kind of thought about something else first, then I got an idea and I chose to choose A Legend Born by Tracy Dion. This I actually mentioned on one of my ARC haul videos. It's coming out on September 15th of 2020, but this one definitely has a blue shade thing going on. It's a YA contemporary fantasy following around this girl who just recently lost her mother, and her memory has been erased, and she's trying to figure out what the heck is going on with her life, and she has magical abilities to herself, and she's really just trying to figure out herself. That's pretty much the plot line, and it seems really interesting, and I would really like to read it. It obviously has blue, so I think that would be a win-win situation. Next up is read a book that starts with the word the. I have two options for this. I'm not sure which one I'm going to actually choose. I'm kind of hoping to get the audiobook for The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang by then, and I will hopefully be reading it for this challenge. If I don't get it by then, or if I actually get it earlier and end up reading it faster, I might pick up The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is an author that I've never read from, and I've heard so many good things about this author that I really want to try to read this book. Who knows if I'll actually do it? I hope I will, but I don't know. I honestly don't really know too much about this book, and I'm okay with not knowing too much about it. It's definitely in this TBR. I might read this one or The Dragon Republic. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Next up is to read a book that you've already seen a movie for. This one is usually a really difficult challenge for me, because usually you have to read a book and then watch the movie adaptation, and I'm not super into doing that, but I've actually seen the movie for this one when I was on an airplane before. So this one is Everything by Nicola Yoon. I watched the movie, really enjoyed it, but I never read the book. I know exactly what the story is, or give or take, and I want to actually read the book and see what it was like, how it was different, and kind of compare and contrast, I guess, just to see how it is. It's also a pretty short book. Like, I think it's hardly 300 pages, so it should be a faster read, and I think I will really like this. Next one is to read the first book that you touch. And for this one, I'm not going to pick a book specifically. It might just come around during the Reading Rush time period, and I'll just probably pick up whatever book, the first book that I touch at that point. That'll be included into this challenge, but I'm not really going to include a specific book for it. The next challenge is to read a book completely outside of your house. Now this one, first of all, we're in a pandemic, and I'm not going to go outside of my house to read. Also, I'm weirdly allergic to being outside. Every single time I go outside, I get blemishes or whatever on my face, and I get really dry skin, so F that. I'm not doing that. So I kind of changed up this challenge a little bit to suit myself. So if you want to do this, go right ahead. Read a book that has any depiction of the outside world on it. Now what I mean by that, it's something like The Unexpected Everything, where the character is outside with dogs. We have Since You've Been Gone, where the two characters are outside just eating ice cream. Something like that. That's kind of where I was going for with this one. This challenge though, I'm going to personally read Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I've actually finished reading half of this book previously, and I just never ended up actually finishing it, so I will be rereading the first portion and getting it done as well during the readathon. As you can see in this cover, the people are outside and they're flying with umbrellas. Next is to read a book from a genre that you want to read more of but you don't. I personally don't read a lot of general fiction, like adult general fiction, so I want to try to read The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This has been on my shelf for the longest time, that I kind of want to try to read this one. This is like a mystery general fiction, I think. I'm not really 100% sure, but it's something I still don't read a lot of, so I want to give it a shot. Also, it has the word "the" on here, so if I slack on something else, I can definitely count this for 2 different challenges, so that's also awesome. The last challenge is to read a book that is set in a different continent than the one that you're living in. I live in North America, I live in Canada, so I'm most likely going to choose a book that is set in Europe, and I'm not sure for this one, but I think it's going to be one of the romances by Julia Quinn. Really not sure which one I'm going to pick for this one, but I will get back to you on that once the reading rush is kind of on. So outside of the reading rush, I wanted to get to The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This one I've seen floating around quite a bit, and I just want to read it just because I've seen it so much, especially because one of the latest books is coming out pretty soon. I don't really know when. It really sounds up my alley, so that's why I kind of want to read it. I believe it is set in 18th century Cairo, and we have this con woman who's trying to survive in that time period. There's like magic involved and stuff, so it seems really interesting and something that I would potentially really love to read. So it's on my list to read this month, so hopefully I will get to it. So I want to read The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. This is like the second book of the series, I think the Wedding Date series. I believe we're following around the romance between a freelance writer and a doctor person as well. And I like Jasmine Guillory's romance, so I feel like I would definitely enjoy this one. So we'll hopefully read this month. I also started reading Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is supposed to be a story about 2 writers, which I think is super adorable. Our female character, January, is a romance writer, and we have Augustus, who is the love interest in this book. He writes fantasy or sci-fi or something. Actually, no, he's a literary author. He kind of scoffs at January for writing romance, and it's not a real fiction or whatever. So they're both in a writing slump, and they decide to switch genres to like test each other out, and January is writing literary fiction and Gus is actually trying to write romance. Through the whole situation, I think they have a rekindled romance situation going on. It's supposed to be super cute, and I know I've heard a few mixed opinions on this, so I'm not really sure how it's gonna go down, but I'm really excited about this one. Alright, you guys, those are all the books that I want to read in July. This is subject to change. Knowing me, I'm very fickle-minded when it comes to choosing my TBRs, but it's fine. I'm still very excited about the books that I've mentioned, and I'm really looking forward to the reading rush to reading some of them as well. If you're new here, hit my little face over there to subscribe. I have 2 of my previous videos linked on the corner over there. Let me know down below if you're participating in the reading rush and what books you are intending to read. But that is everything for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time with another one. Bye!